I'm Lieutenant J.D. Stronko with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. At approximately 6:20 this morning, the Jacksonville Aviation Authority Police, JFRD, and JSO responded to Craig Airfield in reference to an aircraft crash. Detectives from the Homicide Unit responded and determined an ultralight aircraft, specifically an Aerolite 103, crashed shortly after takeoff while practicing flight techniques on the flight line. The deceased is a 61-year-old white male. He does appear to have some prior flight experience. Due to the aircraft not having a tail number, due to the design and nature of the aircraft, the FAA and NTSB will not be responding to investigate the scene. The investigation is ongoing, and any additional information will be released later today through the PIO. With that, I'll take any questions if you have some.
Do you have any idea what exactly went wrong?
Again, he was on the flight line area. He was practicing some techniques. Kind of undetermined right now whether we were supposed to be in flight or not during that timeline, but at the time of the crash, he was in flight. So again, we're digging into it, talking to some of the instructors out there and trying to gather some additional details.
Are there any instructors out there keeping an eye on him?
His instructor was not there at that time, is the early information that we've obtained.
So did it take off just before 6:20, or is that when?
That's the time at dispatch, and that's an approximate time at dispatch when all those different agencies got the initial call and responded to the area.
And so this type of aircraft, it's not very typical. I mean, I've never seen one myself. But he did have like a pilot's license.
I don't have the information as to whether that requires a formal pilot license. It is an ultralight aircraft, and just from my observations, and I am not an aircraft expert, but it is a tube-frame aircraft with cloth or some similar material is what actually forms the wings and the tail. But again, that's a very rudimentary explanation.
Did that van take off from the airport next door, and to what extent, like how soon was it after him being in flight?
He was at Craig Airfield. He did take flight. The time he was in flight was not long, but I don't have the exact duration, but it was a crash from an in-flight status.
And is there, was this the first time he flew that particular aircraft?
I don't have that level of detail. Again, it was a privately owned aircraft. We believe it was his aircraft, but we don't have all those details yet.
This is a basic question, but why was homicide sent out?
We investigate all undetermined deaths. So again, we don't know exactly what the nature of it was, whether it was a simple craft, but we investigate it until we make a specific determination in coordination with the other entities that respond, including the medical examiner's office. Thank you.